Samuel Beckett. Samuel Beckett, not to be confused with Bertolt Brecht. Bertolt Brecht was German and created the Epic Theatre. Samuel Beckett was Irish. He wrote his plays in French and then they were translated into English for performance in England and America and other English-speaking areas. Samuel Beckett had a distrust of actors in the sense that he didn't like the fact that he wrote something that he wanted to just be presented as it was, but then when an actor acted his words, they put their own meaning or interpretation on it. So he didn't really want that, and so he created a variety of devices to try to prevent that from happening. In one play, he has the actors incarcerated up to their necks in Greek urns, which are like big vases, so that they couldn't use their arms and their bodies for expression. He also had a sort of a way of directing them that he wanted the actors to try not to blink very much. So he tried to get them to avoid blinking if possible. Now the reason for that was that an actor can use their eyes to be very expressive indeed, and he wanted to try to stop that. He also experimented sometimes with slowing voices down to a really significant degree, sometimes speaking very, very fast to a significant degree. Both of those devices stop actors using expression. So if you speak very fast or you speak very slowly, both of those things can kind of hamper expression and make it more difficult to express yourself. So the idea was that he wanted something that just very often was delivered in a monotone, which is just one tone, and was rather it's rather difficult to kind of derive any meaning or understanding from. And as I said, the reason is because he wanted his words to stand on their own. Some of his most famous plays are Waiting for Godot, which doesn't use those devices, but it's a play in which nothing happens. Two men are waiting for Godot, Godot never arrives. There's another play called Happy Days, in which in the first act a woman is buried up to her waist in sand, and then when you come back after the interval she's buried up to her neck in sand. That does conform to those principles very strongly, doesn't it, if you think about it? And she's buried up to her waist, she can't move around the stage, she can only move from the waist up to her head. And then in the second half she's not even got that opportunity because she's buried from the neck down. So the only ability she's got to express the words that he's given her to express are just vocal and facial. So he tried to reduce. One of his favourite actors who died recently, whose name was Billy Whitelaw, when she was working with him, every time she asked him, "What do you want me to do, Sam?" he said, "Less." He wanted to reduce the acting until there wasn't any acting at all, which is an impossible thing to get from an actor, but he wanted to try to reduce it as much as possible.